Vitae being life, I just wanted people to change the language they were speaking. So now whenever our brand is mentioned, they're speaking life, they're speaking positivity. And so for me, change and the change we need to see in this world is just more positivity, more life being spoken, and just people looking beyond themselves. So that's change for me. Yeah, sick. I'm William Adoasi, and I'm the founder of a watch brand called Vitae London. So yeah, Vitae London is a watch brand birthed out of obviously London, England. Vitae being Latin for life, and our whole mantra is to be the fashion brand changing lives. So with each watch we sell, we help support a child through education in South Africa. So that's us in a nutshell. Yeah, I think I've just always had like pretty solid upbringing from my parents. My dad was the first in my family's generation to learn to read and write. So I couldn't even communicate with my grandparents. And seeing that and seeing like the poverty my dad came from really like inspired me to want to make a change back home. And just seeing like the power of education to break cycles of poverty. So like that's always been embedded in me. And then just growing up, going through life, I went to work in the city, was making like really good money, but didn't really feel fulfilled from that. And I knew I had to do something with a deeper meaning. I've always been passionate about fashion. So I kind of combined my passion for fashion with my passion to change lives, and that's where Vitae was kind of birthed out of. Yeah, so I grew up in southeast London in Camberwell. It's weird, I only had my growth spurt when I was like 16, 17. So I was just a little annoying youth, to be honest. I used to run my mouth a lot because I couldn't physically do anything. So that was me as a young guy, just a young, cheeky, really witty kid that just used to piss everyone off, but I used to love it, so that's me. So Vitae only launched in December 2015. So we've been going for about 14, 15 months now. So when it launched in December 15, I was 25 at the time. The initial stages, it was actually crazy. So the year before is when I registered the company, and initially it was just going to be a t-shirt brand, because I've always been like creative in terms of graphics as well and photography. So I thought, why not do a lot of my prints on t-shirt and then sponsor a child through education for a month for every t-shirt sold. And then I was about to launch, I had the website ready and everything. And then I looked back and I thought, all my boys are doing t-shirts. Everyone, like, it's so outplayed. So why don't I enter an industry where people like me don't usually enter? And that's what inspired me to look into watches. I've always loved them as well. So I just did a lot of research into the industry, managed to track down a lot of the factories that a lot of the big players use. And then I just sold my idea to them and got them to bring the minimum orders as low as possible. And then I launched in December 15. So that's how it started. Yeah, it's weird, like I've learned a lot of what I'm doing just by doing it. So a lot of people like to do so much research, understand the market inside out before they start. But for me, I learned on the job. So I just, like a lot of people would have seen the barriers because they would have researched too much. But because I didn't want to look at the obstacle, I just focused on my dream. I was able to start the watch brand. And then from starting, I researched a few of the brands that did well, and a lot of them have done well via networking and influencer marketing. So I just went ham on that, and it's worked. So within the 14 months of us being around, we've managed to sell in 26 countries and distribute over 1,000 items of uniform to children in need. So it's been cool. So I went to South Africa 3 times last year to kind of see the impact that we've been able to make. The relationship with the organisation on the ground, which is called House of Wales, was established about 5 years ago. So my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, went on a voluntary trip out there, and she was impacted so much by it that we started sending money there every month. So we were just supporting 1 or 2 children through education every month. Then that's why Vitae London was birthed, because I was like, how can I do this in a bigger way, in a more sustainable way? How can I get the wider world to buy into what we're doing? So yeah, that's how the relationship was established, and it's just grown from strength to strength. No, so my parents are from Ghana. So the reason we're in South Africa at the moment is because the charity we support, they're starting at the most southern country of Africa, South Africa, and working their way up. So we've actually made impact in Lesotho and Zimbabwe recently as well, and they're just going to continually go up and up and up. And then another thing we're looking to do is start our own foundation. So the VT Foundation, which would actually build schools, which is another obstacle, obviously, and barrier to education for children. So I think the first schools we build will probably be in Ghana, because I've got more connections there, and just see where it all goes. Yeah, so one of the big ways I want to change the world is the work we do out in South Africa, and just being able to enable children to break that cycle of poverty. In South Africa, where we support them, 40% of the parents are born HIV or HIV infected. So what you find is that there's a big gap, because a lot of those parents unfortunately pass away, and you've got a grandparent looking after 14 children who will end up going down that same cycle. But through education, we can empower them not to go down that route, and we can just end poverty with time. So that's my dream. Another dream, another way I want to change the world is, growing up, I never saw many young black people, to be honest, that looked like me doing what I'm doing. I never saw them in business. It was always sports or music. And I think that's amazing. I'm inspired by a lot of sportsmen and musicians, but I want more people like me to rise up in the world of business and in other arenas to just change and impact the next generation. To me, it's been everything. Without my wife, I wouldn't be where I am today. She's definitely my foundation, and it's nuts, because anyone else would have probably not supported me starting this business. I was working in the city, making loads of money, making commission on top of that. So doing really well. We'd stacked up money to get a mortgage, so we stacked up enough money to be able to put down on a house. And I managed to convince her to allow me to quit my job making all that money and use all those savings to start the business. And she supported me through all of that. And it's obviously been tough. I haven't been making the money I used to make, but I know one day I will, and surpass that. And she just believes in me and believes in the vision. So yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today without her. I guess the major setbacks, just being from my background, is probably when I started off the connections and the financial barriers. So it's one thing having a great product, but to spread that product, you need that financial backing to take it to the realms where you can't physically go yourself. And the way I've been able to overcome that is, although I haven't had a lot of people I could say I can look up to within the watch industry, so many people have showed love from other industries. I've had the likes of Emily Sandé, Wretch32, Labyrinth. They've all promoted what we do, shouted it out. People in the States like Ava DuVernay, who did the 13th documentary and directed Selma as well. She's been promoting what we're doing. So although I haven't had people directly related to what I do to kind of lean on, I've had so many other people that have just seen the vision, seen what we've done, and they've helped us spread it where money wouldn't have been able to do that anyway. So it's been great, the support we've had. Yeah, so Virgin Startup is an initiative to help fund businesses in London and the whole of the UK actually now. So with Virgin, they're quite strict. So I think out of 10,000 applicants, only 1,000 received some funding. So I was fortunate enough to be enrolled and get the money then. And then out of the 1,000 businesses that were funded, they chose 12 of them to become Virgin Startup ambassadors. So our role is to promote entrepreneurship within the UK. So I was fortunate enough to be chosen for that. I got to go to Richard Branson's house. We had breakfast with him and just discussed our businesses and our branding and the heart behind what we do, which was really, really dope. So yeah, it's been good.